Most people spend their lives reacting to pressure, to opinions, to fear, to everything outside of their own control. But high performers don't react. They lead. They lead their emotions, they lead their thoughts, they lead their responses. This audiobook will teach you the most important leadership skill you will ever learn: emotional control. The ability to stay calm when others panic, the ability to think clearly when others collapse, and the ability to choose your response when everyone else is enslaved by theirs. If you want to stop being overwhelmed and start being unstoppable, this starts right now. Chapter 1. Stop reacting. Take back the driver's seat. You lose power the moment you react. Understand that. Feel that. Because this is where emotional control begins. Every time you snap, every time you panic, every time you respond without thinking, you hand your authority to the world around you. You give it away. You place your power in someone else's hands. And high performers do not give away their power. They protect it. They guard it. They control it. The truth is simple. Reactivity is the fastest way to lose respect, lose clarity, and lose your position in the driver's seat of your own life. And that's the point of this chapter. Taking the wheel back. Taking ownership back. Taking your response back. Because you are not your reaction. You are your response. And until you understand that, you will always operate from weakness instead of strength. Think back to the last time you reacted emotionally. Maybe it was anger. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was insecurity. Whatever it was, you felt yourself slip. You felt yourself get pulled into a moment, into someone else's energy, into someone else's expectations. That's what reactivity does. It pulls you out of yourself. It disconnects you from your standards. It blinds you to the bigger picture. A leader cannot afford that. A high performer cannot afford that. And you cannot afford that. Reactivity is expensive. It costs you confidence. It costs you control. It costs you opportunities. You know this. You've lived this. And that's why you're here, to take the driver's seat back. The problem. Your mind defaults to survival mode. Here's the brutal truth. Your brain is wired for survival, not leadership. Your brain evolved to detect threats, avoid danger, and react instantly. That worked for your ancestors. It doesn't work for you. Not anymore. In the modern world, your threat isn't a predator. Your threat is a comment, a tone, a text message, a disagreement, a deadline. Your brain still fires off the same survival impulses, but those impulses are outdated. They don't help you lead. They don't help you think. They don't help you respond with intention, clarity, or strategy. Your brain says, react now. A high performer says, pause, assess, respond. That's the difference. That's the evolution. That's the key. Your default setting is not your destiny. Let me repeat that. Your default setting is not your destiny. You have a choice. You always have a choice. You can override your instinct. You can replace reactivity with awareness. You can replace emotional impulse with emotional intelligence. And it starts with one habit: the conscious pause. The pause, where power begins. Every high performer, every powerful communicator, every centered leader, consciously or unconsciously, uses the pause. The pause is the gap between the moment something happens and the moment you choose your response. And yes, I said choose, because your response is a choice. You're not a slave to emotions. You're not a victim of your impulses. You're not chained to the reactions you learned growing up. You have a choice, and the pause is how you make that choice. When someone disrespects you, pause. When someone challenges you, pause. When someone frustrates you, pause. When life tightens around you, pause. Because you are not your reaction. You are your response. And inside that pause, you regain control. Inside that pause, you see clearly. Inside that pause, you choose strategic leadership over emotional sabotage. The reactive mind destroys relationships, careers, decisions, and opportunities. The centered mind builds them. That's the difference between losing control and leading yourself. Real-world examples. Why reactivity destroys leaders. Look at the leaders who crumble under pressure. The executive who yells when projects fall behind. The manager who panics when things go off plan. The public figure who snaps at criticism and spirals publicly. Their downfall is never the mistake itself, it's their reaction to the mistake. People don't lose trust in leaders who face adversity. People lose trust in leaders who react to adversity with chaos. You've seen this. You've worked with people like this. You've watched relationships fall apart because one person couldn't manage a single heated moment. You've seen someone lose opportunities, not because they lacked skill, but because they couldn't control their emotions for 60 seconds. Reactivity makes you unreliable. Reactivity makes you unpredictable. Reactivity makes you unleadable. No one follows a person who can't follow themselves. And reacting means you're not following yourself. You're following your fear. Let me repeat that. Reacting means you're following your fear. A high performer refuses to follow fear. A high performer follows discipline. A high performer follows intention. A high performer follows clarity. That's what emotional control gives you. Not perfection, power. The shift. How to take the driver's seat back. Here's how you take your power back starting today. 1. Catch the emotional spark. The moment you feel tension rising, catch it. Don't run from it. Don't deny it. Recognize it. Awareness is your first weapon. 2. Pause before you act. 4 seconds. That's all you need. 4 seconds of breathing. 4 seconds of grounding. 4 seconds of refusing to react. 3. Choose the response that aligns with the leader you want to be. Not the ego-driven reaction, not the fear-driven reaction, the leader-driven response. Because you are not your reaction. You are your response. And repeat until this becomes your new identity. This isn't a trick. This is training. You are training your emotional discipline. You are training your internal leadership. You are training the next version of yourself. And you don't need anyone's permission to do that. Not your past, not your environment, not your emotions. You have a choice. And that choice is the foundation of your power. The consequence of not learning this. If you don't take back the driver's seat, your emotions will drive for you. Your impulses will choose for you. Your fear will speak for you. And when fear speaks for you, it ruins your decisions. It ruins your confidence. It ruins your momentum. This chapter is your wake-up call.
A reaction can cost you 5 minutes of pride or 5 years of progress. And you know this. You've lived this. You felt this. But that ends today. Because today, you take the wheel back. Closing message for Chapter 1. You're stepping into the identity of someone who responds, not someone who reacts. Someone who pauses, not someone who panics. Someone who leads themselves first, because leadership begins internally. Remember this: reactivity is surrender, response is power. And power is the foundation of everything you're about to build in this audiobook. You took the first step. You reclaimed the driver's seat. Now let's slow your mind before it speeds up your problems. Chapter 2. Slow down your mind before it speeds up your problems.